guys, welcome to the podcast. Another episode 109. We're adding them up, Joe. We're adding them up. This is Joe.
Hi, guys.
And I'm Eric.
Hi, Eric.
How's it going? We're here for another podcast week. We got a pretty good show, I think, for today. So buckle up, strap in, give this one a like. We could really use those thumbs up to help us get a little more traction our way. That'd be pretty sweet of you. So with that said, we'll just get right into it, guys. Thanks for joining us in the Hunt Shack. And with that said, Joe has some big news. I'm going to kind of pass it to him pretty fast here, but Joe has some big news, and take it away.
All right. So big news is that Utah hit released their drawing, results. That's what I was looking for, the results. And looks like I drew just a regular archery deer tag, and it's just crossed the border back into Utah, so it'd be a decent half-day, scouting trip. At least it's decent to do a day shot. Be a long day, but it's better than driving clear back to the other side of the state to hunt.
Oh, for sure.
Scout. So I was been thinking what I was gonna do, turn it back in or whatnot, but I'm gonna keep it and then possibly get an elk tag too, because the seasons kind of coincide, so that way I can maybe hunt both, or if one crosses in front of me, I can shoot whatever's there.
Right. And
then on top of that, they got that extended season in Utah as well. I can go back and hunt the extended and still get some more time hunting. So I kind of thought of that way. It might be kind of fun to keep the Utah tag, I believe. But yeah, so big news is I do have a tag for this, a deer tag for this upcoming hunt.
Nice. So
New area,
still in Utah though.
Still in Utah.
Get to kind of have a or whenever you told me the other day, I texted you, I was like bittersweet, which kind of mean like you really get to enjoy even though it's a new area, you get to enjoy the last year of being a resident Utah. Kind
of give Utah a goodbye, how would I put that? A last hurrah, or final goodbye.
Yep.
As a resident.
Yeah.
But
so, well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's really exciting.
It is.
Hopefully.
Sorry, I have a little bit more excitement about it. So I guess a little bit of backstory. My sister texted me, "Hey, your card get hit?" And she's like, "Everybody I kind of know, their cards are getting hit, saying that they got money taken out." And I was like, "I don't know." So look into it, and it got hit, and I was like, "All right, now I just gotta wait for the results." Well, so I, wait a couple days, and I'm like, they said it was going to be the end of the month, and I was like, man, that seemed like a long time to wait, to find the results. So I go through my emails, I'm like, man, there's nothing there. Wait a second. So I go jump into my junk emails, and there it was in the junk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but it was not successful on the limited entry elk or once in a lifetime moose. Which is to be expected, but
that's once in a lifetime,
right?
So with that, that's kind of actually something to bring up. So, are you gonna try to put in for something like do those points, or have you figured that out yet? If those points
they don't go away, I just transfer over to me with a non-resident.
So, are you gonna hopefully sooner than later keep putting in? And
yeah, I'm gonna keep putting in because for the moose and stuff and limited entry side of things, I'll just keep putting points in for that and let those build up, because I can't build points without putting in for them. So, even though I moved, I guess I kind of get it of like, well, I don't live there anymore, why keep putting in? But it's just another opportunity. Like that'll just be the limited entry stuff I'll put in for now.
Yeah.
At least for the elk.
But you've already invested the points too,
right?
So that's the hard part, is losing those.
Right.
So, well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be exciting to.
So it's kind of funny because I get caught up hunting here, and I go, yeah, telling Eric where we've been hunting turkeys. We got to come back and put some trail cameras up for. Oh, but then there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into that. So I was going to use my trail cameras over where we were hunting turkeys, but set them up more for elk and deer. And now I just realized that, like, I got to go back and check the laws for trail cameras in Utah, because Utah just passed all those. I shouldn't say all those laws, but passed laws on as to how and when you can use trail cameras.
Right.
So
yeah, I can't remember the laws in detail.
well, I believe it's you can't have them out during season. You can just after season, and you got to have them down before I think the archery season opens. So I got to hurry up and get out
like
there.
a month though, or something.
Yeah,
or like 3 weeks or 2 weeks before archery season, or
yeah, there's some time before.
Because it's like almost enough time where it doesn't, because mule deer and elk are so nomadic. It kind of defeats the purpose of even having them. I mean, I guess you'll be able to tell if there's
right. That's all
in there, but
well, that's the interesting thing too. Is like it seems like everyone talks about. You know, I've put my trail camera up, and I've never shot anything off from where I've had my trail camera up. I've never really come across anything where I've had my trail camera up. But yeah, I forgot where I was heading with that.
Well, I don't know where you're heading with it either.
Other than I just got to check the laws if I want to check the laws for trail cameras in Utah. Then I probably got to hurry up and get them up, because we're May, June, July, August. The hunt starts in August. I have like 2.5, 3 months till I got to be hunting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It goes quick. Whenever you start that archery hunt, it comes quick, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's something I'm trying to get used to too. So, but yeah, with that, I mean that's awesome news. You know where you're hunting and what you're doing this year for sure now.
Right.
And I guess the only downside on like selfishly from my side of it is I was kind of hoping for a little, like, I mean, I'm sure we'll do it anyway, but little scouting together and like making a plan and doing the whole thing that way. I was kind of excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna.
Well, I can't go every weekend back into Utah, so like there'll be weekends that still devoted to Colorado, and I got to learn Colorado anyways because I'm in Colorado now.
You'll be hunting here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure we'll be kind of scouting with each other quite a bit anyway, but.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, we'll be scouting with each other and stuff. I mean, yeah, I think we'll be spending time and learning each other's mountains. But yeah, to a point, I was excited to be having an elk, go out to elk camp together. And I mean, I know we'll probably do that anyway, but. A little bit of, you go down this way, I'll go this way, we'll meet here, kind of like orchestrating that way. And I don't know, just that a little bit. But I'm also excited that you get that one last hoorah with Utah.
Right.
And try to pull something out of there that's worth it, And,
yeah.
And is it a kind of a trophy unit for bucks, or
I don't know. I gotta go back and check it. I feel like the one thing, I don't think it's like a trophy unit, but I think the success rate in it's pretty good. They're decent enough, better than what I have been hunting. So
oh, good.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully something comes up.
Yeah.
Those early season bucks are kind of hard. It seems like though, to get them close.
Yeah, I ain't scared.
No, but that's why like for around I haven't drawn a buck tag yet to really play it, but I kind of like hunting around that November time because it's kind of the rut. And
Oh, true.
kind of play the rut and
True.
works in your favor a little bit.
You don't have to be as good of a hunter.
Something like that. But hey, we're struggling hunters for a reason, man. Like, be easy on me. So, but with that said, I guess we could kind of move it on. I went out this weekend, didn't get nothing, so I'll keep the story short. We still went up to the same area we've been talking about for the last few weeks. Didn't run across anything. Didn't really see much sign of anything. A lot of it was pretty dry, but kind of dusty. So I was really looking for if I could find some turkey tracks or anything, and never did come across turkey tracks. So I don't know if I'm just kind of in the wrong spot or what the deal is, but got a few more weeks of turkey hunting. So hopefully before the end something comes up. But speaking of turkey. Me and Joe decided last week that we were going to go ahead and spit out a few facts of turkeys to kind of, I guess, understand turkeys a little better, and also maybe kind of throw out a pointer or two that we may be missing whenever we're out there hunting for them, and also maybe you guys might be missing a couple facts about them or what they respond to or what their habitat is. It's kind of Joe did some research, I did some research. I think they're kind of a little bit different research, but then it kind of correlates together. So with that said, most, or at least in Colorado, there's no, we're not allowed to shoot hens. It's only toms only in the springtime. But with that said, though, I was kind of curious of how the hens react and or what their habits or what they do around the springtime with having laying eggs and stuff, and what I found out was per year they lay about 10 to 14 eggs, give or take a few on that, because I did see a couple that said 8 eggs and some as high as like 15, 16 eggs. So give or take about 10 to 14 eggs in a season, and they lay about 3 per week. And actually, this was kind of something that I never realized. They lay about 3 per week until they get their as many as they're going to have for that season. And so if they have 10, let's say, they lay 3 per week until they reach the number of 10, and they once they to incubate and hatch the eggs, it's about 29 days, I believe. And what's kind of cool about it is they have a synchronous hatching. So even though that it might be 3 or 4 weeks before the first eggs to the last eggs were laid.
Oh, really?
They incubate for a period of time, and then whenever those eggs start to hatch, they all hatch around the same time. I thought that was really interesting. So you don't have turkeys that hatch 2 weeks early and goes down the line. They all hatch at the same time, like within hours of each other. As a matter, I mean, that's how close it is. The turkeys, another thing, or the hens, what they do is they'll hang out in flocks with each other, and they'll eat and do their whole thing. And then whenever they're getting ready to go lay an egg, they'll go to their nest and lay those eggs, and then they'll go back to their flock. But they kind of keep a close eye on their nest, and to kind of make sure that predators or whatnot are not messing around. And then they kind of if there is a predator that comes around, they'll kind of they'll try to entice the predator to follow the hen, so they get away from the fresh eggs. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. I think that's about it as far as the hen stuff is. I mean, their nest is on the ground, so there's a lot of danger to a hen and having eggs. And I didn't get into it in my research. I didn't really have the time, but I've heard a few times that the the success rate for turkeys is it's kind of phenomenal that their population is as big as it is because in simple numbers it's like 3/4 of the turkeys that are hatched end up not making it, and then within the first year the 3/4 of the ones that did make it after hatch don't make it.
Oh wow!
And then like 3/4 of that number in the first 2 years don't make it. So like, you know, you start off with I can't even think of a good number to start off with, but you know, you start off with 10, and then like 7 of those don't make it. Maybe 10 was a bad number to start with, but 7 of those don't make it, or 6 of them don't make it, let's say. And then the first year, 3 of those don't make it, and then, you know, the second year, like 1 or less make it, you know. So it's kind of an interesting fact about turkeys and how hard they have it on survival. So, anyways, with that, I just thought that was kind of interesting with hens and what they have to do to survive, and you know, they don't get the opportunity to roost up in a tree and stay away from predators like the toms do. So with that, I'll pass it to you, Joe, if you got anything.
Well, the one thing, I didn't quite go that route. I wish I would have. Just because it would, you know, like it's something I needed to learn about. I was kind of just focused on like calling and kind of tactics that way. And one of the things that I came across is, you know, one guy's like, I always try to be like 30 minutes earlier than right on time, like in the mornings and stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. And, you know, and like going through this, I realized that, you know, I think one of the things is you kind of can't be scared to be yourself. Like I was kind of telling Eric beforehand, I feel like a lot of these articles guys are written, and I don't want to take anything away from people because I know they spend a lot of time in the woods and we're learning, but I guess we're try to explain where this mentality is coming from, but I'll finish up my thought. But so, you know, like everyone, something happens, you know, and in a sense they create their lucky socks, you know, like, oh, I got to make sure to have my lucky socks on now. So that, I mean, that could be like a certain kind of yelp or a certain time they get someplace, and like I think there's some truth to everything, but like lately I'm trying to like go through and read through the noise of it all and understand what they're really trying to say and disregard their lucky socks. But what I guess where this thought came from is another guy I can't even remember, I just stumbled on to his content the other day. He was saying that, like, you know, guys would call him up or leave messages and they're like, hey, I'm hunting this area of elk. He's an elk hunter, and the elk seem to do this at this time of day, or they kind of tend to go this type of food. Have you ever seen this before? And the guy goes, no, I have not, but I am not hunting your area, which I thought was kind of interesting, because how many times do we go trying to dig for nuggets of information, and then we're basing it on someone saying, but they're probably hunting back east turkeys, or like a different state. Every state's going to be different because it's not the same habitat, it's not the same elk herd, so everything's going to be changed. So anyways, as I was reading through the articles, like that thought kept playing through my head and really trying to understand, like I need to learn for myself. But one of the things too I came across is it made sense, and I'm probably guilty of it, at least I don't know that I am, but like they talk about doing a locator call, and a lot of times they say to use a coyote howl, and the guy says make sure that you don't use a coyote call in the morning when they're still up in their roost, because they got to fly down, and the last thing they want to do is fly down in the direction of a coyote call.
Yeah, that one. Speaking of that, I know that's something that you've kind of played around with the coyote call, and for me, it's hard for me to wrap around my head, because I'm like, well, if I was a turkey, I would shut the hell up as soon as I heard a coyote call. So that one I'm still trying to wrap around my head, trying to figure that one out. And you know, one of these days, if it works for us, and you know, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you gotta use a coyote call for sure. But
got my lucky socks now.
But yeah, that's my lucky sock. Exactly, that's a good point. And but yeah, it's been that one has been a hard one for me to wrap around my head. Is using a coyote call for a
right
locator.
And I just have been just because that's what I have.
Right.
And I haven't done it in the morning yet, but I could see myself being like, oh, I'm supposed to lay out a locator call. They say coyote call works for that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing too, that trying to, you know, dig through this information is a lot of times I get lost in, like, people suggest something and I kind of put my blinders on and just use it as a suggestion and don't really think it through. Like, you know, turkeys, they have their own season of what they're going through. You know, like hens are, you know, their mating season, and hens laying eggs and what's going on, and that's going to determine where the toms are and what the toms are doing. You know, like, I'm sure it's one of the things is we take in consideration is you know, like that tom that we saw. I'm sure it's a tom because now I'm sure the hens are on their nest. So that one that we saw in the tree is probably a tom. So you know, trying to think that through now. I'm going off my tactics, but just trying to think of what I've talked through, what I've been trying to learn. So that's kind of meaning maybe that the hens are close to there. So I think, man, sorry, my mind's just starting to go comparing elk hunting and turkey hunting all together, and I'm like drawing all these like similarities because, you know, I'm like, well, shoot, you know, a turkey's going to be on the run trying to find a hen ready to meet, you know. So so trying to understand when that timing is, you know, it's kind of, you know, it helps you understand what type of calls you need to use. And that was the other thing that one of the articles was saying is don't be scared to have too many calls in your bag, because it's, you know, it's kind of like fishing in a way. When you're trying to find what the fish are biting, you're just throwing calls out, you know, probably the same type of call, but, you know, throwing different pitches and stuff with different calls and trying to find what the turkeys are responding to. So that way, you know, just like fishing, you're throwing that lure out there trying to see what the fish are biting on. And then same thing with turkey hunting is, I wonder if the same thing goes over into elk hunting too. Different types of, anyways.
Well, I've heard that, like with cow and stuff, like having a couple different cow reeds, and using both of them, you know, alternating through them a little bit,
right?
And or I guess elk reeds. I said cow reeds, but elk reeds, but making the cow sound, or even if you have a hoochie mama or whatever. But if you have, you know, different variations, I've actually heard that because then you kind of sound like multiple cows. So.
Yeah.
Satellite bull or you know, even a herd bull is like, oh, well, I got a bunch of cows down there. I need to go see what's up.
Right.
Say, hey, ladies.
How you doing?
How you doing?
And but I think to kind of wrap that all up too is, I think the biggest so the two biggest things that for me after going through this little research was trying to get there earlier than you think you need to be, so that way things can get quiet and you can listen for the toms to gobble in the morning and hear them fly down from their roost. It said, like, before you want to be there before the gray of the morning, which is early. But
yeah.
And then you want to be patient too if you're setting up calling, like, you know, kind of being aggressive or not aggressive, and tapering up to being aggressive. But then just sitting there and being patient and still. I think that's probably the big secret, or the big thing across to everything: elk hunting, deer hunting, turkey hunting. It's kind of a joke to say, but you got to kind of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you got to know when to stop being patient and move to a new area. But, you know, that hurry up and wait thing is kind of a crucial in a way too.
Oh yeah.
You got to be patient for a while, and that's kind of hard to be sometimes. 5 minutes go by. Well, nothing's here. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's really hard. Is just sitting in one spot and not seeing nothing, and just having that hope that something's gonna cross by.
Right.
It's almost impossible. So I agree 100%. Yeah, that's I guess my only thing to add to that is I don't know how I want to add this in actually because so some of the calls that you might want to use, and I guess the best way I'll explain this is I'll give what they are, but I'm not a good enough turkey caller to like demonstrate, and also I don't really. So anyways, look them up on YouTube or whatnot, and but some of these calls that will help you, hopefully call something in is I'll start off from the top that I have is there's yelping and a cluck, a purr, and then there's one called a kiki, and I guess that one's more for the fall, and but it can be used in like a late spring hunt. So with Colorado, how they go so far into their hunt, like maybe that's one that I could start using these next couple weekends, for example.
Right.
But anyways, those ones kind of give you a start or a head start on like what kind of sound you're supposed to be trying to make, whether you're using a box call or a mouth read or whatever you're using for calls. Kind of give you a little idea of what kind of calls those are, and I think that's kind of been one of my biggest flaws this year is I haven't really been doing enough research on the different kinds of calls and practicing them
Right.
like I should, and probably I'd say the other thing that I've lacked on this year is just getting out early enough, because we've been going after work, and then even last Saturday I got up to go turkey hunting, and I had all intentions to go early, and long story short, I overslept a little bit, and I still went out, but just it was in the later morning, and didn't come across anything. So that's totally on me. I it is what it is. Part of the struggles of hunting or whatnot, but I did the noble thing and just blamed my boy for making us late. So I was giving him a hard time on the way up, and I'm like, man, this is all your fault, Carter. He was having fun. He was having fun with it, but he's like, no, it's not. It's your fault, Dad. I'm like, no, it's all your fault. So anyway, I don't know. Is there anything else?
No, I can go ahead and close up and kind of get us going here out. I think, like Eric was saying, I think trying to understand, I thought there was kind of interesting facts there about the hens laying their eggs and whatnot, and incubation period. That's kind of interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff that goes into these turkeys, and not just the turkeys, but the elk and the deer, and kind of all of it, which makes it fun to go out and to see and participate in the wild,
Yeah.
But guys, just keep learning, keep pushing, and hopefully here shortly we'll have some stories of a turkey. And now we're getting into the full-blown scouting season for the archery deer and elk coming up here. So we'll, off and on over the next couple of months, be looking for some of that. And thanks for listening and giving us your time. We appreciate that, and it really does humbles us. We see people watching our stuff, and it's we appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, tell a friend, and we'll catch you guys again on our next episode. Have a good one and be safe out there. Thanks for visiting the Hunting Shack. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Later, guys.